Hello, fifth graders. Just like we have done with every single topic we've encountered so far, we are going to do some estimation. So yesterday we dealt with dividing numbers that had a bunch of zeros, so they were powers of 10, and we could easily just find the basic fact, cancel out the zeros, and get our quotient. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to try to make these problems into a nice, easy, basic fact problem, okay? And we are going to practice estimation because remember, when we estimate, we're making it easier to see what our answer is going to be, okay? And we're going to see if our answer is reasonable based on our estimate. So let's look at this first definition. It says compatible numbers. We've heard of those before. Compatible numbers are numbers that are easy to compute. So using compatible numbers that are near to the actual numbers in a problem can make it easier to find a solution. So originally we had 410 divided by 90. Now, I don't know about you, but 41 divided by 9 is not a basic fact. So instead, they made it 450 divided by 90 because 45 divided by 9 is easy to do in your head. They are compatible numbers. The numbers are easier to divide because they are a basic fact. So another pair of compatible numbers for this problem, instead of doing 45 divided by 9, you can do 40 or 400 divided by what? What could we put in this box? Well, if I think about my basic fact, I could do 400 divided by 80, okay? Because a basic fact that I see is 40 divided by 8, because 40 divided by 8 is 5, okay? Now, those are using compatible numbers. An estimate is a number that is close to the actual amount. So 410 divided by 90, well, we used compatible numbers to make it 450 divided by 9. So an estimate for our answer, well, again, just like we were doing yesterday, 45 divided by 9 is 5. Cancel out the zeros that they have in common. There's no zeros left over, so the answer is just 5. And we can use multiplication, okay, to get our answer, to check our answer, I mean. We can do 90 times 5 equals, and it does equal 450. So what we're going to do, we're just going to practice making our division problems into nice, easy, compatible numbers. So let's look. Step 1, okay? Now, I didn't really go over this yesterday, and I probably should have. If we were to review the parts of a division problem, okay, does anyone know what this number is called? And this number. These are two very important parts of a division problem. The number that you're starting with, or the total, is called the dividend. Okay, so 37,389 is the dividend. And the thing that you're breaking it up into, how many parts you're breaking it up into, is called the divisor. So we have the dividend and then we have the divisor. So step 1 is to always look at the divisor first. You always look at the divisor first. And that's my little trick for you. Don't look at the dividend just yet. Look at that divisor and make it a nice, easy, compatible number. Okay, so what can I make 57 into? Because that's my divisor. I want to start with my divisor. I can make that into a 60. Okay, once you look at the divisor, now look at the dividend. And now that you have 60, or 6 technically, okay, make the first 2 digits of the dividend, so make these first 2 digits a multiple of your new divisor. Okay, so let's look at this. So 37 divided by 6 is not a basic fact. But what is? 6 times what? Well, 36 divided by 6 is a basic fact. So I can make this 36,000. And that's a nice, easy problem I can do. Okay, so 36 divided by 6 is 6. Subtract the zeros they have in common, cancel them out. There's 2 zeros left over, so our answer is 600. Okay, so again, follow these steps. Look at the divisor first. Change it to a nice, easy, compatible number, or round it if you even want to. And then look at the first 2 digits of the dividend and change those, and all the other numbers just become zeros. So let's try these out. So let's look at this first one. Again, you always look at the divisor, the second number. Okay, what can we make 19 into? We can make that a 20. Okay, so now we're going to look at the first 2 digits of the dividend right here. Now, is 22 divided by 2 a basic fact? It actually is. So we can keep it as 22, and then the 8 we can just make a 0. Okay, so 220 divided by 20. Again, my basic fact is 22 divided by 2, which is 11. Cancel out the zeros they have in common. There's nothing else, so it's just 11. Now, you didn't have to keep it 220. You could have made this 200 if you wanted to. Okay, it's up to you. You could have made that any different thing as long as it's close to your actual. Okay, so let's look at the next one. 67. What can we make 67? We can make that 70. Okay, and now you're going to look at the first 2 digits of your dividend. How can we change 27 so that it can be divisible by 7? Think about your 7 times tables. I can make this 28, which is divisible by 7, and then the 4 and the 0 just become zeros. And I would say 2,740 is pretty close to 2,800. So now my basic fact is 28 divided by 7, which is 4. And then cancel out the zeros they have in common. There's 1 left over. Our answer is 40. Okay, so again, we're estimating because we want to make sure when we find our actual answer, when we set this up as a division problem, okay, if we're going to set up 2,740 divided by 67 and we do that whole division problem, we want to see if our answer is going to be around 40. If we don't get an answer close to 40, then we know we did something wrong. Okay, so the last one I want you to try by yourself. Fill in these. What could you make 40? What could you make 44? I'm sorry. And then look at 7,810. What could you change that into? And what is your estimate? So 44 is about 40. Now let's look at the first 2 digits of this. Okay. So what can we make 78 so that it's divisible by 4? What can we make 78 so that it's divisible by 4? Okay, well, if we look at this, right now, your basic facts really only go up to, if you go 4 times 12, it goes up to 48. Okay, and that's still pretty far away. So let's say 4 times 20, right, gives you 80. Okay, so couldn't you do 80? And then the 1, the 0 again just become zeros, okay? So this is a little different because you can do a basic fact. You could leave it at 80, or you can do your basic fact is 8 divided by 4. Either way, you're going to get the same exact answer. So let's do 8 divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. Cross out the zeros they have in common. So there's 2 zeros left over. So you get 200 as your answer. Now you could have done that differently. You could have done 8,000 divided by 40. And instead of doing your basic fact as 8 divided by 4, you could have done 80 divided by 4. Okay. 80 divided by 4 is 20. Cancel out the zeros they have in common. There's 1 left over. You still get 200 as your estimate. Okay, so again, the biggest thing to do for this is to look at that divisor first. Look at that divisor first. Make that an easy number to divide by. And then only change either the first digit or the first 2 digits of your dividend. So it's a basic fact. And then all the other numbers you can just change into zeros. Because again, we're just estimating. All right, so attached to this Ed puzzle is going to be a Google form where, again, you're finding your best estimates, okay? And again, these are estimates, so we are not setting up any long division problems. We should be able to do all of these in our head. So if you can't do it in your head, make it easier to do. All right, so complete those problems on the Google form and practice estimating to see if your answers are reasonable. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.